Who is Confucius? Confucius, born on circa 551 and died on circa 479 BCE, birth name is Kong Chu, was a Chinese philosopher of the spring and autumn period who is traditionally considered the paragon of Chinese sages. Confucius's teachings and philosophy underpin the East Asian culture and society, and remain influential across China and East Asia to this day. His philosophical teachings, called Confucianism, emphasized personal and governmental morality, correctness of social relationships, justice, kindness, sincerity, and a ruler's responsibilities to lead by virtue. Confucius considered himself a transmitter for the values of earlier periods which he claimed had been abandoned in his time. He advocated for filial piety, endorsing strong family loyalty, ancestor veneration, the respect of elders by their children and of husbands by their wives. Confucius recommended a robust family unit as the cornerstone for an ideal government. He championed the silver rule, or a negative form of the golden rule, advising, "Do not do unto others what you do not want done to yourself." The time of Confucius's life saw a rich diversity of thought, and was a formative period in China's intellectual history. His ideas gained in prominence during the Warring States period, but experienced setback immediately following the Qin conquest. Under Emperor Wu of Han, Confucius's ideas received official sanction, with affiliated works becoming mandatory readings for career paths leading to officialdom. During the Tang and Song dynasties, Confucianism developed into a system known in the West as Neo-Confucianism, and later as New Confucianism. From ancient dynasties to the modern era, Confucianism has integrated into the Chinese social fabric and way of life. Traditionally, Confucius is credited with having authored or edited many of the ancient texts, including all of the 5 classics. However, modern scholars exercise caution in attributing specific assertions to Confucius himself, for at least some of the texts and philosophy associated with him were of a more ancient origin. Aphorisms concerning his teachings were compiled in the Analects, but not until many years after his death. Top 50 Quotes by Confucius. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest, and third by experience, which is the bitterest. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. Wheresoever you go, go with all your heart. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. Study the past if you would define the future. The funniest people are the saddest ones. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. To be wronged is nothing, unless you continue to remember it. Respect yourself and others will respect you. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. When you see a good person, think of becoming like him. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. Attack the evil that is within yourself, rather than attacking the evil that is in others. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. You cannot open a book without learning something. What the superior man seeks is in himself. What the small man seeks is in others. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. The hardest thing of all is to find a black cat in a dark room, especially if there is no cat. We have 2 lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. Give a bowl of rice to a man and you will feed him for a day. Teach him how to grow his own rice and you will save his life. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. The way out is through the door. Why is it that no one will use this method? It is not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities that should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. The man of wisdom is never of 2 minds. The man of benevolence never worries. The man of courage is never afraid. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. And remember, no matter where you go, there you are. If what one has to say is not better than silence, then one should keep silent. Hold faithfulness and sincerity as first principles. To be wealthy and honored in an unjust society is a disgrace. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. To put the world in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life. We must first set our hearts right. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Forget injuries, never forget kindnesses. Don't do unto others what you don't want done unto you. If your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. A lion chased me up a tree, and I greatly enjoyed the view from the top. Education breeds confidence. Confidence breeds hope. Hope breeds peace. The beginning of wisdom is to call things by their proper name. To see what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. When a wise man points at the moon, the imbecile examines the finger. The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. Time flows away like the water in the river. Don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof when your own doorstep is unclean. It is easy to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get.